The Palworld situation is spiraling out of control. Right now, you have YouTubers making video content, spurging out, and freaking out about the possibility that Nintendo is going to file lawsuits against Animo, against Digimon, against other random games that really have nothing to do with the lawsuit at all. And in fact, this is the trend when it comes to Palworld, is that the community deliberately misrepresents what the lawsuit is actually about to create some fan fiction alternate reality that Nintendo is scared of Palworld and the lawsuit was only filed because they don't want competition for Pokemon. Palworld was just so popular, they were threatened by it. Never mind the fact that that is not true, never was true, never will be true, and that the entire Palworld thing was a gigantic cope. Let us just ponder Palworld's relevancy for a second. Does anyone talk about Palworld outside of this specific lawsuit ever? Does anyone talk about the game outside of the Pokemon comparisons? The answer is no. Palworld's existence hinges on the fact that it is antithetical to the Pokemon brand. In trying to argue that Nintendo is going to sue Digimon or any of these other Pokemon clones, you are completely misrepresenting the issue at hand. You are completely ignoring what Nintendo has done over the past several decades in regard to their competition to push a narrative that they hate Pokemon competitors and don't want to see them succeed, when in reality, they were heavily involved with promoting Yokai Watch in the West and have allowed Digimon to exist since its inception. There is no reason to think that Nintendo is particularly litigious when it comes to Pokemon competitors. That isn't the issue. The problem is that Palworld blatantly plagiarized Pokemon. And this is the thing that you never see these people really address, is the fact that Palworld is indistinguishable from Pokemon in a lot of key respects. And through claiming patent infringement, Nintendo will demonstrate that in court and get the game removed from store shelves. Palworld is plagiarism. There is no getting around it. There is no avoiding the situation. The idea that people have that Palworld's gameplay loop is completely original is false. It simply is not true. Not true at all. The idea that Pokemon's formula is generic is laughably off base. People don't understand how Pokemon designed its world, designed its characters, designed its vibe. Like, they don't understand how much work and effort went into making this the biggest brand in the world. All they think is that Pokemon is the biggest thing in the world because it's Pokemon. They don't really think about why. They don't think about what went into these games to make them successful. Palworld is 1 year old now and has completely lost all momentum. Outside of the lawsuit, the game has had very minimal updates. It hasn't made any real changes. It hasn't really made any improvements. It has not even left early access. There will never be a finished Palworld product. There will never be an animated series. There will never be anything. The brand is a stillbirth because all this game ever really had going for it was ripping off Pokemon. And that is the only reason you see so many people religiously defend it. It's not about Palworld. It's not about Nintendo being anti-consumer. They are desperately trying to destroy Nintendo. That is what this is all about. That is the real motivation behind the Palworld worship and just the giant conspiracy about Nintendo doing things that they've never done. I ask you, why should I care about Palworld? Why should I care about some knockoff product that is in no way the same level of quality as Pokemon? Why should I care about what this company what happens when this company gets sued by the company they stole from? Why exactly am I supposed to be up in arms about that? Why should I care? If anything, I was saying this was going to happen from the onset. And at the time, people laughed at and ignored me. People really tried telling me that nothing was going to happen, that Nintendo didn't have a case, that this would be, they wouldn't dare file a lawsuit. Well, guess what? It happened. And now the cope has become that Nintendo is patent trolling, or that they're just going to, that they can't possibly win this lawsuit that they weren't going to file to begin with. It's the same cope we've been seeing for a very, 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 very long time. And to me, it couldn't be more obvious that the people complaining about Pokemon were never really true fans, because there's so much to be excited about the brand right now, not just for the upcoming video games, but for the trading card game, for the anime, for all the tie-in products, the merchandise. There's so much to love about Pokemon that people who try and say that it's a brand that's fallen off or it's lost its way, it just falls off flat. Especially if you're like me and have been hearing this stuff since Generation 1, when it was supposed to be a fad that would die off over time. Remember when South Park did that video and said that, like, kids would grow out of it? It was such a tone-deaf tone. It was such a tone-deaf episode. Pokemon is bigger than South Park ever was or ever will be. And South Park really thought that it would just be a fad that people would grow out of, when in reality, more people have grown out of South Park today than have ever grown out of Pokemon. It is a cultural phenomenon that has transcended generations now, and certain individuals, NES boomers mostly, just cannot bring themselves to admit it, that this is a wildly successful IP that kind of defies the expectations that society set for it. This is something that is very important to a lot of people, that people really enjoy and spend a lot of time with, and it's not just because it's popular. It is because this is a genuinely well-made brand that appeals to a lot of different people. And this is why something like Palworld, which is at its core just a derivative knockoff product, cannot possibly compete, because it doesn't have an identity of its own. Its entire identity hinges on being the anti-Pokemon, and that is no way to build your own brand.